This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. These are my trips today, and this could be a record for me. I had a plan that I was going to do the lunch on my walking. Regardless of how unbusy I was going to stick it out and do lunch on my walking account. And then when it got slow after lunch, I was leaving the city at 5. So after lunch for me was a very short period of time. But if I got slow, I was going to flip to my bike route, my bike account. I didn't have to do that. I ended up with 7 deliveries, and I'm going to talk about each of them. Now, my inspiration for the content of this video comes from doing a delivery with my wife when we've talked about what the people ate and who it was. Hannah and I have only done one delivery together, but because of what has resonated for us and what we've talked about, I'm going to do a little more detail on each of the deliveries. So listeners, I'm just thrilled to have listeners on this Uber series. Who you are, what you're doing, and why you're listening, I don't know. I'll keep guessing as to what you're interested in. So we start here. This is my first delivery of the day, and this is Midtown. This thing over here, you would never be able to tell without some help, but I'm pointing and stopping. That is the Lincoln Tunnel. So I started here at Subway, and I delivered Subway, and this is very early in the morning. And I don't know why. Let me see if I can find the time. There it is, 9 in the morning. So a young Asian guy, probably Chinese, I forget his name, but he ordered, Subway for breakfast. I don't know what it was, but he also had some kind of drink, a screw cap drink, like a vitamin water. And what the sandwich was, I've forgotten. So I got paid $3.32 for that one. Totally easy. This is, people know New York, know there's long blocks and short blocks. So this is one long block. Maybe it's one long block and maybe 3 short blocks and then a half a block. Because this extra turn I didn't have to make. I'm on a bicycle, so I was able to go right to his apartment. So that's the first one. I've got 7 of these, by the way. So listeners, if you're bored, now's time to turn your attention someplace else, because I'm going to go through all 7. 304 I earned on this one. This was 10 in the morning, and this is still Midtown where I started. This was on 3rd Avenue, kind of in the 30s, low 30s. Right here, a bagel place, and I've forgotten the name. And I delivered here to Stuyvesant. So, listeners, if you know Stuyvesant and you have an experience like mine where you find it difficult to find the exact location in Stuyvesant, you're not alone. I have trouble. And I generally ask directions when I need to ask directions. So when I'm on delivery and I have a smartphone and I could ask someone or just check my smartphone more thoroughly, put on my reading glasses, get in the shade if I need to, turn up my light if I need to, I figure it out myself first. But listeners, Stuyvesant is not that kind of place. Take my advice. Ask. There was a guy picking up trash. He was obviously an employee of the whole Stuyvesant complex, and I asked him. He directed me right to Building 5, so it ended up being a great delivery. And I've wasted a lot of time in Stuyvesant before. They call it, I thought it was just a casual nickname, but they call it Stuytown. That seems to be more of an official name. So look at that, 13 minutes. Just great. So now I think with that delivery, I'm done. So there it is, 304. I think this takes me, my purpose was to get downtown to Wall Street. And this is a delivery that got me there from Broadway. No, I was making my way down there on my own, idle, no deliveries, and I got a ping to go over here, which is Broadway, McDonald's, and I brought, of course, some kind of fried chicken to... Oh, now this was interesting. The management called my person because they didn't have Hawaiian punch.
What is this?
And they substituted something with the approval of the customer. So I didn't have to do anything but wait. I was willing to do more, but management handled it for me. I didn't know McDonald's could call out. It seemed unusual for them to take such care. So, listeners, here's an interesting number. For the distance, I get 61 cents. So this right there is the number why I like this walking route. Because I could ride, like something that this is less than 10 minutes of bike ride. Or I was on a bike for this delivery. But because I'm on my walking route, this ends up being a 10-minute bike ride. So I can go on a half-hour bike ride, from 30th maybe all the way down to Wall Street, 30th all the way down to, World Trade Center. And this only goes up to like $1.25. So I got a lot more time invested, but not much more money. So that was that delivery. McDonald's. Can't remember who ordered McDonald's, but it could be anyone. Everyone eats McDonald's. So here we go. Broadway to White Street. I don't know what that was. This is now, I'm in my target area. This is down, listeners, if you know New York, the Wall Street area, if you look at the east side of Broadway and consider that whole area, Wall Street, south of the Brooklyn Bridge, north of the Bull, this ends up being a really nice delivery area. I did great, and I want to return. So I just wish I knew what delivery that was. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think this one. This one, yeah, I know which one this one is. From William Street to William Street. This is Bear Burger. I walk out of Bear Burger right across William Street into a building, go up to the floor. The security was kind of a bother. And please note, tip. That's why that would be, that contains a $4 tip. So that delivery would be, look at how much I get for distance on this one. A nickel. I get a nickel for walking across the street. And there's a $4 tip from a city employee. I went up to the floor, went into the mayor's office. They didn't know. I think the woman's name was Nicole. They didn't know her, and next thing you know, she was out she knew who I was. She recognized the delivery person, and the customers have pictures of the delivery people on their app. So she kind of stood on the other side of the glass doors and kind of called me out of the mayor's office waiting room, and I gave her the food outside of the elevators. So that's the one with the tip. That one's a standout. That was my only tip. So this one is made in Lane. And believe this one, listeners, this is a great one. Fried. I wish I had taken a screenshot of the order. There was fried chicken times 4, fries times 6, times 8. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to be big. I barely fit it. It was like so custom made for my 12 by 12 by 12 pack. It was, easily 20 pounds of food, all fried chicken, fried French fries, fried. The biggest order I may have ever carried, and that's not true, but it's one of the biggest. And I took it here. Police Plaza. I expected a great, big, fat cop to come out. You could barely see his gun because of his belly hanging over his gun. That's not what happened. A young, trim Latino came out to get the food. No, you don't get to wander around the police headquarters. They call, and you have to wait. So that was great. Listeners, just to give you that place was called Sticky Fingers, and it is a very, very popular place. So that's that one. And then this is Maiden Lane to Pearl Street. This might be, I know I've tried to recall all these and I forget. So I may not be able to pair. So let's try this one. Maiden Lane to Pearl Street. That's where I was. I don't know what that is. That might be Dos Toros. And then we get to this one. Yeah, this one is this is By Clo. Now, By Clo, for a point of reference, they describe themselves as South Street Seaport, but it's not. It's on Front Street, so I overshot that. And I took it. This was Gucci, but Gucci and Office Tower, not retail. So that was sort of tricky to find. I went to the wrong side of the building to get rid of my bike because I put it in a dock. And by the time I delivered the food and when I was finished, I had a text from the woman that said which street the entrance was on. It would have helped me if I knew it in advance. And then my final one, yeah, this one is a Kati roll. This is a South Indian specialty, and it's just awesome. I love these myself, and they're compact. If you imagine packing up a hot dog in a condensed pack and putting it in a custom size bag, then you have roughly the size of the order I was taking. So from the Copped chicken fried French fries that stuffed my 12 by 12 by 12 bag, I go to something that's not bigger than a hot dog. And I took it to the very southern tip of Manhattan, residential. And, you see it's on Wall Street itself, so I wasn't all the way down. I don't know why it looks like I was on Wall Street. And so now I'm going to go back to this one that I couldn't remember. This one is obviously, now I remember. This is Dos Toros. And I don't know who had Dos Toros. But listeners, the food does not match the people. I got a young Chinese eating Subway. I've got, the Kati roll was a guy named Danush, which is an Indian name, and he was Indian. Okay, I take that back. Today, the food really matched the people. Young, white, millennial woman eating By Clo. The Indian, Danush, eating Dos Toros. Mexican food isn't really, Dos Toros isn't really Mexican. It's American Mexican food. So that was kind of a frat boy. No surprise there. But it wasn't a Mexican eating Dos Toros. I've never seen Mexicans eat Dos Toros. And then, so any food that had an edge to it seemed to match the people who were eating it. Subway, of course, went to the Chinese, and the fried chicken pile went to the cops. And anyways, it was just a great day. In some sense, Wall Street kind of works like an island. You separate it by Broadway, by water on two sides, which is the southern tip of Manhattan and the East River, and then the Brooklyn Bridge. So it really is this isolated spot, and I get the sense that people really don't order out of the area. They have this sense that they're on an island, and I don't mean the island of Manhattan. I mean a really tiny island. So I think it's going to be great for my walking routes because I think I'll continue to score down there. Anyways, great day, a lot of fun.
You never ate this.
This is Tom Duty, middle-aged. I am getting in trouble by my wife for not eating a salad. It's Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you'd type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. There's a lot of noise coming out of the kitchen. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.